Hey, good morning. It's January 25th, and it's about 7:07 a.m. Central Time. Futures trading contains substantial risk and is not for every investor. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. And hypothetical performance disclaimer, no representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown from past historical events. Other disclaimers on my website, please take a moment to look at those. Want to talk about the E-Mini and what we've been doing as far as the price action. We obviously know that we were in a range. We hit the yearly VWAP, standard deviation, came back to the VWAP, came back to the standard upper deviation, came to the VWAP, and we were just ranging up and down, broke through the bottom, went straight through instead of a check, and then broke through the lower deviation and then started bouncing when we got down to this level. We did check this level by a tick or two, and then now we're resting and coming back up to the yearly VWAP. We're in the yearly sweet spot, my 25% river of gold. And this is where we're putting the brakes on. As you can see in the price action overnight, we hit this area and just started going flat. This is also the 38% Fibonacci level of the swing high and low. And we're at that upper, the lower standard deviation. This is lower 1, this is lower 2, this is lower 3. So we're at lower 2, which is at the yearly VWAP and the 38.2. If price decides that it's going to turn here at this lower area of the sweet spot, we could check the high and then turn. Most likely price is coming down to 1636. For the Fibonacci rule on how far price is likely to go. If you turn at the 38%, we're absolutely going to take the low, but most likely go to the second level. So that's the minus 61.8, or even the 127 at 1458. However, I'm not convinced that that is in the cards for a couple of reasons, and they have to do with, we have not checked the bottom of the yearly value. We broke through this yearly value, so that would lead me to think that the price is going to want to come back and check that. And here we've got our upper deviation 1 at the 61.8, which makes this a ranging market, which makes more sense because we were in this big ass range. So just from a technical standpoint, it makes more sense to me that it's going to come back up here and check this level. We were in a huge down thrust. We are the only game on the planet for the stock market right now, and money can't stay in treasuries. They're not making any money. They're going to want to put money back to work for them, and that is the US stock market. Let me show you what the contract, that's the yearly. If we look at our contract for the E-Mini, the March 16th contract, which we're running out of time on, and since we're in an upthrust, that's why I think we're going to hit this 50% level and get to our contract VWAP and our contract bottom of the standard deviation 1. So this right here makes much more sense to me than a downward thrust at this point in time. I don't think the market's going to do anything really until the FOMC meets and then announces that they're not going to raise rates right away. You know, come on, guys. You think that they're going to raise rates after what happened with this? That would be pretty gutsy of them if they did. But most likely, in probabilities, we could probably see price hit this 1950 area ish, in my humble charting technique of just eyeballing a chart and saying this looks about right. So we are in a downtrend, but we're retracing. So how far we retrace will be seen. We could turn in the sweet spot and head down, or we could go to the top of the sweet spot, hit this area here and turn around at 50%, or even get up to the 61.8. It is left to be seen. So let me put this back on the yearly and look at our current charts. Currently, price is going flat. We hit that 38%. Here's our yesterday 127 at 1906. And then here today is where I'm thinking price will get to. We have our composite VWAP at 1871, prior River of Gold, prior point of control, and composite VWAP and composite POC. So all roads are leading me down here today. Okay, and so let's look at see what my handy bloodhound signals are giving me. I'm starting to get the red. My charts are setting up on the super trend as red. This is on my smaller time frame. Here is the red starting to show. I don't have my bottom one going yet because that will kick off on the regular trading hour session. But here's yesterday's close up here, and we're below the we're below the open. So we're clearly trading lower, and that's why I think that we'll get to our levels over here of around 1866, 1864, 1865, something like that over here, before then climbing back up for the FOMC meeting stuff. The composite VWAP bottom at this previous standard deviation low could be the last line of defense for the bulls to send this back up. But this is probably they're going to be eyeballing a purchase decision to send this back up and be a good location to enter another long, given my theory of this looks about right charting techniques. And that's about all I have, because I'm not a certified anything. I'm just putting my little templates together. And this is the ranges going. The 11, 12, the 111 Unirinco, this is a 110. I'm going to put it on 111. Oops. That was a 1-1, sorry. You can make it as low as a 1-1, by the way. You can absolutely trade a 1 tick. But 12 tick to me is better, because you have better chance of getting into a range and holding a trade for at least a point in your direction. And that's again my rule of thumb. The way that I've been able to figure this out, I can at least get a point out of these range directions in the direction of my trade. And so if I just set my profit target for a point, or tuck it behind that last pivot and let it go for 2 points, writing out any middle part, that's a pretty good trading plan. A point, move to break even, and let your runner go to get the continuation signals. And when you see price come up to the super trend and you want to add back on to continue down, these spiky places are good to add back on. You can see the wicks, the way I have these bars set up, so that you can see the up and down movements really good. when you get a doji and you're in an uptrend, this is a good place to add on to a position after each one of these little doji moves. They don't all work out. Trading is not a game of perfect, right? But these are your bread and butter. After you get your 4 ticks and you see a doji, this is where you would want to add on to make your sweet spots. Add on here, add on here, add on here, and boom, 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 boom. You've made enough for the week on this move. So we're trading probabilities. We want to trade with the path of least resistance. So right now, the market's the only thing moving in a directional, but not by much, are the bonds. And they're at a big resistance area up there, I tell you that. But so try to trade when the weekly daily is going in the same direction for the highest probability, and then kick it down to your lower time frame. Always do your higher time frame analysis of where you think the market might be finding a location to trade to. See if that matches with your weekly daily 60-15. See if that matches with your direction guide, and then only be taking those trades. You can set your chart up just to take the shorts. And with these tick sizes, you can set your profit target for a point on each one of these. I mean, with the right position size, you know, you could make over $100,000 a year just trading for 1 point on 2 contracts, right? Let me do my math on that. 2 or 3 contracts for a point. Get 2 trades a day, and you're done. So you want to set your chart up, is the point. I'm sorry to take you down rabbit holes, but try to get an estimation on where a chart will go without being interrupted. The smaller you go, the more choppy it gets. So like if you want an 8 tick, like a 2-point range instead of a 3-point with a 12, you get more chop. You're not as likely, it'll come back around and whip you out. It's not as likely to give you your pay, your point. It'll whip around on you and knock you out before it goes on. So that's why I kick it up to see here, it bounces you out. So try to get it at least 3 points or 4 points. Here are 4 points, a 16 ticker. But for the risk, you want to give yourself the best opportunity to get runners each time you enter a trade, realizing that you're going to have spikes up and down. See, this one didn't work out, but most of the other ones do. So for my eyeballing, like I said, spaghetti, this looks good enough. Checking out the signals on the E-Mini, this tick size, mama bear, papa bear, baby bear, this looks just about right to give me my porridge. But you can set the tick range according to your own wrist size, and that's what I like about these Unirinco bars instead of the other bars. The other Rinco bars that you purchase, you can't change that tick size or offset. The 98 gives me the lowest 0 offset possible Otherwise, you would have to set it to a 1 on a standard Unirenko. These have been customized to allow you to trade that 1 tick if you want it. Let me put this on a 1 tick. And I will show you what I mean. If you did want to trade a 1 tick range. Well, actually, this is a 2 tick. 1 and 1 is 2. So I think the lowest I can get you is a 2 tick range. I should have lowered. Here we go. But you see how choppy this can get. So you don't always get your point out of these, but it's a nice smooth bar and it lets you see the price action really up close on what price is doing. But that's just too close for me. That's 2 ticks. So anyway, you can experiment with these bars once you get them and find the one that you like the best. And try to get into a trade using the super trend is nice. Like we know that we're in a downtrend, so that first pullback after a downtrend, my ruler. Where'd it go? That's what you want to try to accomplish, is hitting these pullbacks after a trend, but these bars are just too narrow. Put this back on my 12 tick bar, 3 points, to give me a nice cycle. There, that's better. And allow me to stay in the trade and sit through these chops to get to my point. See, this did not even get exceeded. That was a double top. It didn't even go up there to take that tick out, and price continued. So you can get very, very close and accurate. But if you had entered on this short, your stop would still be in place and you're still moving down towards, you know, your target, which would be S2 or S3, most likely S2. So you're still in the trade, and you can like that, plan your trades. All right, well, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your checking my site out. Let me know if you'd like me to help you put together these custom templates, and or just go ahead and purchase some of the templates that I've already gotten pre-made for you. I think that you're going to really, really like them as far as being able to help guide you in taking some money out of the market and putting it into your account. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.